Here's how rich people are planning to make millions of dollars out of the US-Iran war. For a lot of people, profiting from a war might seem unethical and immoral. How could you possibly make money when people on the other side of the world are suffering? But in reality, any war or any crisis has financial implication. And during any kind of war, trillions of dollars move from one group of people into another. So in this video, you don't have to follow the instructions that I will give you. I will simply show you how these people will make a lot of money. Whatever you will do with this information is a completely different story, and it's up to you. My job is to simply show you how to do that. So if you look at any war, it always has financial implication, and the US-Iran war is probably one of the largest wars since the Vietnam War, which means that it is going to have a huge implication. First of all, the stock market. Now, to understand why we have to focus on the stock market, you have to understand the size of the stock market. The total market cap today is about 65 to 70 trillion dollars. So there is a lot of money there, which means that trillions of dollars will be moved from one group of people into another. So if you want to profit from this war, you have to focus on the stock market. And the stock market is not a real game. It's an artificial game because it always turns into this self-fulfilling prophecy. What does that mean? The stock market moves where investors believe it's going to move. Why? If investors believe that the stock market is going to grow dramatically over the next couple of months, they will start buying a lot of stocks today. So if there is a lot of demand for these stocks, then the stock market is growing, which means that it easily turns into this self-fulfilling prophecy, and vice versa. If investors believe that the stock market is going to collapse tomorrow, what do you think investors are going to do? They will start selling their stocks, which means that if everybody is selling their stocks, the stock market will collapse. That means that it simply turned into a self-fulfilling prophecy. But here's the biggest problem with the stock market, that there is something called a real value and paper value. So when you look at prices in the stock market, these are not real valuations. These are artificial valuations created by investors. So there could be a real business building real stuff, hiring real people, and then there is a market cap, which means that it is priced in the stock market. And these are two completely different things. So the price of the stock is going to rise and fall based on the valuation of the fake value or the paper value. Now, what does that mean? So if you look at any stock or any business, you will see that it is basically a very simple process. There is cash that goes into this business, and then there is a process that is being done by that business, and that means that they will take that cash and turn it into a product, such as iPhones, MacBooks, or maybe TV shows in the case of Netflix, or maybe they will turn them into microphones, such as this one, and they will sell this Microsoft to clients, which means that this process will turn into more cash. So if you want to understand the valuation of any business, all you have to do is to ask yourself two main questions. What is the cost of the cash that goes in, and what is the value of the cash that comes out? Why do we have to ask these questions? First of all, let's suppose that we're building an oil refinery. To build that, we might need like $10 billion. So we go to the bank and we borrow $10 billion. The bank is not going to simply hand us that money. The bank is going to say there is 10% interest on that money. So the cost of this $10 billion is $1 billion annually. So if we can borrow that money, for example, at 5% interest rate, then the cost is $500 million. So the value of this business could change based on the cost of the money that we're borrowing and throwing into this business. And this refinery is going to make, let's say, $100 billion 10 years from now. This is just a hypothetical example. Now, the question is, does this $100 billion worth today as much as it's worth 10 years from now? Well, of course not, because money loses its value. There is inflation. Let me ask you another question. Do you think $1,000 today worth as much as it used to worth 10 years ago? Of course not. 10 years ago, you could buy a lot of things with $1,000. Today, with $1,000, you can barely buy anything. 20 years ago, $100 was a lot of money. Today, $100 is absolutely nothing. So, the value of that future profit or the future cash that the business is going to generate is going to fluctuate based on different factors. So if we can actually find the value of these two things, we can actually find the paper value of that company or that stock. So if you look at any stock right now, regardless of the stock, especially tech stocks, you will see that its price is fluctuating every single day. Today it's up, tomorrow it's down. Take an Apple stock. If you look at the Apple stock, it is constantly fluctuating every single day. 1 year, it is up. Another year, it is crushing. But if you zoom out and you look at the big picture, you will see that over the last 20 years, the Apple stock has exponentially growing. So the question is, why would the price of the stock fluctuate so much every single year if Apple is building a good business over the last 20 years and their real value has been growing so much? Over the last 20 years, they've built more iPhones, they've introduced AirPods, they built way better MacBooks, they did so many great things. So logically, this business is supposed to keep growing. But as I told you that, the stock market is completely detached from the reality. The values that you see in the stock market has nothing to do with the real businesses. So in order to understand the paper value of anything, you have to ask yourself, what is the cost of cash that is going to get into this business? So imagine Amazon now says that we are going to invest $100 billion into artificial intelligence because we want to build data centers. Amazon said that, for example, 1 month ago or 2 weeks ago before this war has actually started. So there was a cost to that $100 billion. Now there is a war, there is going to be inflation, and the cost of capital is going to increase. So maybe investors expect that the Federal Reserve will increase interest rates. So 2 weeks ago, the cost of capital, for example, was 3%. Today, the cost of capital is 6%. So the value of this $100 billion, or the cost of this $100 billion in this case, has just changed just because the circumstances in the market has changed. So if the value of Amazon, for example, was $1 trillion, simply because the cost of this $100 billion changed, now the value of Amazon goes to $800 billion, even though nothing absolutely in the real life has changed. It is the exact same $100 billion. It is the exact same Amazon. It is the exact same plan. It is the exact same strategy. It's the exact same product. Nothing changed. But on paper, the value of this $100 billion has changed. But what if Amazon says, we don't actually need that money from the bank. We have a lot of money. We are making hundreds of billions of dollars. We will use our $100 billion and we will invest it in AI. Well, in that case, the opportunity cost is rising. Because if there is inflation, that means that the yields on the US Treasuries will rise. Now, that $100 billion could be invested in the US Treasuries and you could get a guaranteed return. Since the yields on the US Treasuries have risen, now the opportunity cost of these $100 billion have risen. That means that the cost of capital have also risen. So it doesn't matter whether Amazon is going to use its own money or Amazon is going to borrow that money from the bank. The cost of cash has risen anyways. Secondly, what does a war do to the value of future cash? Whenever there is a war, there is a lot of inflation because the government borrows a lot of money, it spends money to build ammunition and to maintain this wartime economy. And this is one of the biggest wars going to be since at least 1945, which means that if there is going to be a lot of inflation because of this war, the question comes back to you. What happens to the value of the future cash that Amazon is going to generate out of their investment in AI, $100 billion? It is going to go down. If Amazon is supposed to make $1 trillion, 2 weeks ago, before this war, for example, has started, the value of this $1 trillion, let's say hypothetically, was just $1 trillion. Now there is war, which means there is more inflation. Now the value of that future cash flow of that $1 trillion, let's say it is now $900 billion. So even though absolutely nothing has changed, on paper, Amazon became less valuable. And that's why you see that all of these tech stocks are worth a lot less. Their valuations are going down, especially right now when all of these companies are spending so much money on building AI. Now, to a lot of people, this might not seem real. Wait a second, everything that you're saying doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Prove it to me. So I will just give you a very simple example that happened recently, but there are a lot of other examples. If you go to 2020, you will see that the stock market has collapsed during the pandemic. Why? Because suddenly the government says, everybody stay in your houses, nobody can get out of their house, otherwise you will be fined. The entire global supply chains have been completely disrupted. So naturally, this business, let's say Apple, that has built their supply chains over the last 30 years, now they don't have that effective supply chains. What happens to their valuation? It goes down. But suddenly, for some weird reason, the stock market starts growing so fast in January or March 2020, and it literally doubles between 2020 and 2021. And it doesn't make sense. The global economy is crushing. These stock prices supposed to go down. But the Federal Reserve instantly lowers down interest rates to 0%. Now, here's the question. What happens to the cost of capital? Cost of capital is now 0. First of all, you can borrow money for free. Secondly, the opportunity cost is also almost 0. Because if you take that money and you put it in the US Treasuries, you're not getting any money or whatsoever. So suddenly, because the cost of capital went so much down, the valuations became a lot more on paper. So suddenly, these companies are undervalued and we have to buy them. So stock prices rise dramatically. Secondly, what happened to inflation and the value of future cash is if everybody is locked up in their houses, if people are fired from their jobs, people are not making money, so they're not spending money, will there be inflation? No, people are not spending money. How is it that there is going to be inflation? So if inflation is so low in 2020 and 2021, what happens to the value of future cash? It becomes a lot more valuable. So basically, in 2020, we had this situation where the cost of capital is bare minimum and the value of future cash is at all-time high. And that's why the stock market is growing so fast. And then suddenly in 2022, the stock market collapses. The question is why? Now, it doesn't make sense because in 2020, the global supply chains have crashed and disrupted. By 2022, we are slowly out of the pandemic. The supply chains are beginning to fix themselves. And logically, if you're like a normal business person, you might assume now in 2022, the stock market should be growing. But no, it is absolutely vice versa. The stock market is crushing in 2022. The question is why? Again, we go back to the exact same thing. The Federal Reserve increases interest rates in 2022 to 5.5%. The cost of capital rises dramatically higher. Now, borrowing money becomes more expensive. Secondly, the Federal Reserve or the US Treasuries are now paying 6% in US yields. That means that the opportunity cost has risen. So, the cost of capital on paper became a lot more expensive. So, on paper, tech companies became a lot less valuable. Inflation also got extremely high. In 2022, inflation was about 9 or 9.2%, which means that the value of future cash became a lot less valuable. That's why even though in 2022, the stock market is supposed to grow so fast, the stock market collapses in 2022 for this reason. And that's why if you understand how the stock market works, because stock market is completely detached from the reality, and millionaires understand that now is the time to buy a lot of tech stocks because the market condition makes their valuation on paper a lot less valuable. So when you buy them and then the dynamic of the market changes, suddenly these stocks will worth a lot less. So these millionaires will make even more millions of dollars from this crisis. And all of this is happening because there is a war in Middle East, because the United States has waged a war against Iran. Now, secondly, a lot of millionaires and rich people are buying a lot of gold. But why? Gold is a terrible investment. Now, gold is one of the worst investments you can possibly make. Why? Because gold does not produce anything. If I have all the gold in the world and it sits behind my back, what is the value of that? Like, what am I getting? Can I eat that gold? Does that gold gets me an iPhone? Does that gold gets me a microphone? Can that gold record this video so that you can watch it? That gold can absolutely do nothing. It is worthless. And that's why Warren Buffett gave a very good example. If I have all the gold in the world, or I could choose all the farmland in the United States, I will definitely choose all the farmland in the United States, because that gold will sit there and shine, while the farmland is going to produce stuff that people can eat, and it's actively adding value to people's lives. Do you see the difference? But during a war, gold instantly flips and becomes one of the best investments. Why? Because all wars are financed with debts, and that means that we are increasing the supply of dollars in the economy. Can you print more gold? No, gold is limited. Extracting gold is expensive. But can you print dollars? Yes. In the past, you might need it to spend a lot of paper and ink. Today, you don't even need that. All you have to do is just press a button, trillions of dollars thrown into the economy. So because there is so much debt in a war, and this war is financed with debt entirely, you don't have to pay the price now, but you have to pay the price later, whether you like it or not. The dollar loses a lot of its value, so gold prices rise. Secondly, war creates a lot of instability. So we don't know for a fact how the world is going to look like when this war is over. Maybe tomorrow Donald Trump and Iran are going to shake hands and say, okay, the war is over. Or it could be a completely different scenario where the United States will have to deploy real troops to Iran, and this war will last for another 5 to 10 years and will drag and drain US resources, and the United States will no longer be the global superpower. The US dollar will no longer be the global reserve currency. So there are all of these speculations about how this war could possibly end, which means that it just makes future unclear. We don't know what's going to happen in the future because of this war. So 2 weeks ago, we kind of had an idea of how the future, or at least the foreseeable future, would look like. Today, we don't have that clarity, which means that there is somebody who is buying a lot of gold. And price and supply, or demand and supply, determines the price of gold. That's why you see, because there is so much demand, the price of gold has doubled over the last 6 months. The question is, who is buying that gold? Most of the gold is purchased by central banks across the globe. So these central banks raising money from taxes and buying so much gold. So they have infinite amount of money to buy gold. So that demand is not created by some investors out there. That demand is not created by me or some few millionaires out there, but rather by nations that have infinite amount of money, because if you don't pay your taxes, you go to jail. Now, the question I have to you is that who is holding all that gold? The United States, Germany, IMF, Italy, Russia, China, and so on and so forth. Now, do you think any of these countries are interested to sell their gold? No, absolutely no. So we know for a fact that the supply of gold is not going to increase because all these nations are not interested to sell their gold. So if there is literally no supply of gold, but there is a lot of demand, what happens to the price? The price rises. Do you think these countries want to buy more gold? Do you think if China had the chance to buy as much gold as the United States, if the United States tomorrow will say, China, listen, I will sell you all the gold I have. Do you think China will agree? Of course, yes. Do you think if France will say to China, I'm ready to sell you all of my gold, do you think China will agree? Well, of course, yes. So during this wartime, we have a situation where there is huge demand for gold, but there is literally almost no supply. That's why the price of gold is exponentially rising, even though that it's a horrible investment, which is why these are the two fundamental ways that millionaires and rich people are using right now to make millions of dollars out of this US-Iran war. So if you want a step-by-step strategy on how you can make a lot of money from this war, and you want more details on that, then join the Investing Academy. If you want to know what are the best stocks to buy right now that will make you millions of dollars when this war is over, then join the Investing Academy. The link is going to be in the description of this video.